Hey everyone, my name is Kayla Watkins, and tonight I will be ranking the dates that I went on when I first moved to Boston. So what was the inspiration for this video? Well, as we all know, or some of us know, that the Mercury retrograde just happened, and unfortunately my current dating life was a victim of it. Maybe when I don't feel like I'm gonna punch myself in the throat anytime I talk about it, I will share what happened and made me have this realization and I can laugh about it, but right now it's not the time. So anytime I talk about this one specific person or like this one specific situation, I'm just gonna pretend like it's all sunshine and rainbows anytime when someone brings them up, because I don't feel like going down that rabbit hole again mentally. When I was reflecting on that relationship, it made me think back to when I first moved to Boston and when I first started dating in the city, and I thought, why not rank them? So just like my dating style, let's skip the small talk and get straight to the point. I will be ranking these dates pyramid style, like on Dance Moms. And these numbers are a picture and a nickname that I gave that date because that is what or who they reminded me of. Each date has a nickname for privacy reasons, and I will let you know their zodiac sign if I know their zodiac sign. Coming in hot in last place, number 6 is, drumroll please, breadstick. There's nothing wrong with the nickname breadstick. Breadsticks are delicious. That's literally the only reason why I would agree to go to Olive Garden. The reason why I gave this man the nickname breadstick is because every time I thought of him, I thought of a breadstick. That's simple. I don't know breadstick zodiac sign because we didn't get that far to even talk about zodiac signs. The reason why I ranked him number 6 was because at the end of the day, I was literally physically ill. Breadstick was like the first person I went on a date with when I first moved to Boston. I met him at a bar, and I don't remember the bar's name because I was new to the city, and my best friend, we would go out during the weekends at night, and she would take me to different bars and clubs. And I was just following along, just doing stuff. We went to this one bar, and he had approached her and was like, hey, I think your friend's cute. Can see if she wants to talk to me. Can I get her number? And so my friend lets me know. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll talk to him. And so I did, and I gave him my number, and from there we started texting. We quickly established our first date, which was at a bowling alley, and we went bowling, and that was a lot of fun. Then after we finished bowling, he was like, hey, do you want to come to my place and watch a movie? It's like, yeah, sure. Keep in mind that I am new to this generation's dating scene.
Hey guys, so I just wanted to give you a quick background on my dating history. So when I started dating, I was in a long-term relationship. Then when that ended, it was a quick break. And then when I got to college, I was in another long-term relationship that lasted after college. So I wasn't familiar with casual dating. When I moved to the city, I wasn't really familiar with the idea of taking a girl out on a date or taking someone out on a date and with the intentions of getting it in, if you know what I mean.
And when I think, oh, let's go to my place and watch a movie, I'm thinking that's literally what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna go. That wasn't the case. Anyways, we go to his place. He opens up the door. I step in, and it smelled so bad. This was still in my people-pleasing era. Yes, I'm a recovering people-pleaser. In my mind, I'm thinking, let's get through this movie and get out. So, we just got situated. We're watching Shrek, and that feeling when you're about to throw up, but you can't? That's what I was going through when we first started watching the movie. At some point, it was time. It was time. And so I would excuse myself to go to the bathroom, and I, would do my business, and then I'd rinse my mouth with water, come back out, and would be like, okay, this is fine. And then, I got it out of my system. 10 minutes later, gotta go again. And, I did that a couple times throughout the movie. The movie finally goes off, thank God. And then he's like, want to spend the night? No, I do not. I want to go home and barf. Again, in that people-pleasing era, don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. So I'm like, okay, yeah, okay. So then, yes, I went to sleep with that man. Not like that. I went to bed, but also throughout the night, I kept going to the bathroom to barf. As soon as the sun started peeking through the window, it was time for me to go. I was like, hey, like, I'm about to go back to my apartment, bye. And he was like, oh, let me walk you to your car. I was like, okay. So he walks me to the car, and we get to the car, and he was like, do you want to get breakfast? I was like, no, I can't. And then I came up with a reason why I couldn't go to breakfast that morning. And so like I get in the car, you know, I'm waiting for him to walk so I can barf, because like the stench was just like engraved in my brain that I needed to barf again. And like I had like a plastic bag that I was going to do that in, but no, he's just standing there like this. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just drive, and when I turn the corner, I'll do that. And so that's what I did. I turned the corner, barfed, never talked to that man again. When I tell you, like, the apartment smelled bad, it smelled so bad. I was literally throwing up at some point in the movie until the next morning. Like, I kept getting up to go to the bathroom. Enough about that stinky situation. Let's move on to number 5. At number 5, we have Eugene Krabs. And if you watch SpongeBob and you know who Mr. Eugene Krabs is, you should have an idea of what kind of man this was. Mr. Eugene Krabs was a Gemini, and our dates started off pretty well. Started off pretty normal. We went to Yard House, and you know, the banter was there, the conversation was there. Funny guy. We're talking about like, you know, like our past, and the waiter comes over and asks if we want any drinks, and we're like, we're still trying to figure it out. Can we have a minute, please? Then he mentions that he wants to do a beer, asks if I want to do a beer. I, you know, like gave him a reason of why I don't really drink beer. I used to shotgun them in college. Like, I drink it, I feel like I'm gonna get sick. And somehow that turned into him challenging me to a chugging competition. That's one thing that I've learned about myself, is that I can get really competitive, not in sports, but in random things. While the waiter is giving us some time to look for some drinks, I tell him, hey, like, I didn't have anything to eat today, so I'm gonna get myself dinner. Ended up getting this yummy Korean barbecue chicken sandwich, and it was so good. You know, the waiter comes back, we tell him the drinks that we're gonna get, and I put in my order for the sandwich. He doesn't get any food. We get the first round of drinks. We're having a chugging contest. He ends up winning, and I'm already feeling sick. At some point, the waiter ends up serving me the sandwich, and he was like, oh, that looks good. Can I have half of it? And I'm like, yeah, sure, fine. You know, we're eating. He throws in another, oh, let's chug another beer. I'm like, I'm already like not feeling well after doing the first one. I don't feel the need to do that again. Like going back and forth. The waiter comes back to check on us, and he says, hey, do you guys want to do another round of drinks? So he says yes, he wants to do another round of drinks. And I said, oh no, don't worry about me. I don't want to do another round of drinks. Eugene Krabs is like, he wants to do another beer, and I'm like, no, I don't. And we're like going back and forth. So when I said fine, because I just wanted him to leave me alone at that point, the waiter's like, okay. And he, you know, goes to put in the drink. We finish eating, the second round of drinks come, you know, we're drinking that, and then I feel like I have to barf. So I get up, walk to the bathroom, and I come back out, and then the waiter stops me and was like, hey, is like, you know, like everything okay? Do you feel uncomfortable? I didn't feel uncomfortable, but I was definitely annoyed, and I didn't want them, like, I could handle this man, is what I'm trying to say. But you know, I thought it was sweet that he and his coworker wanted to check in on me. I go back to the table. Once we finished up eating, I didn't finish my entire drink. It was time to pay. This man tells me that he doesn't have any money. I'm like, what? So I'm like, all right, I'll pay for it. Like, I'm ready to go. You know, when a girl and a guy, you know, they go out to eat and it's time to pay the bill, the waiter always puts the machine or bill in front of the guy, and he usually pays for it. Well, he left it in front of him. I used my card to pay, and then I put it back in my wallet, and I look up and I see that he puts no tip for the waiter. We're using my card, and you left no tip. The waiter comes and grabs it and walks away. I tell him to go outside. I'll meet him outside. And I walk up to the waiter and I was like, hey, did he leave you a tip? And he was like, no, he didn't. So I ended up asking for his Venmo so I could tip him. I then go catch up with Eugene Krabs, and we're walking away from the restaurant, and I realized that I don't have my purse. And we went to the restaurant pretty late, so by the time we wrapped up, the restaurant was closed. So when we went to go, you know, like, go open up the doors, they were locked. And I was like, you know what, I'll call the restaurant in the morning. Unfortunately, Yard Sale opens a little later. Because my purse has my keys in it, I had to stay over at his apartment for the night. So we walked to his apartment. He tells me to wait, and then there was these steps. I went to go sit on it. He went to go ask his roommates for permission, I guess. So he runs up all excited and tells me that I can sleep over, and then he falls down the steps. We go to his room, and apparently he's like sharing a room with someone. There was like 2 twin beds, his side and then the other guy's side, and I'm assuming that's who he went to go talk to. Also, when I was sleeping over there, he kept trying to put his hands on me, and I would just be like, go back to your side. It's time to go to bed. I'm tired. So I'm freaking out, and I don't want to wait any longer. So I actually messaged the waiter on Venmo and was like, hey, like, did I leave my purse there last night? And he told me, yeah, someone found a purse. I was jumping for joy and waiting for the restaurant to open back up. So we walked back over to the restaurant, and you know, they asked what's in the purse, trying to verify if it's actually mine or not. I told them what's in the purse, and then yay, I was reunited with my purse. And then I said bye-bye to Eugene Krabs. Now that we're done with Cheapy the Cheapskate, let's move on to number 4. At number 4, we have Just a Chill Guy. So I really have nothing much to say about Chill Guy. He was just a chill guy. I do not know Chill Guy's zodiac sign. I was new to Boston. I didn't realize how bad Boston parking was, even in Cambridge and Somerville, and I can never find parking. I was on track to make it on time. However, I ended up being at least an hour to 2 hours late. I was freaking out because I thought he was gonna be mad or upset with me or just gonna end up leaving, but he was just a chill guy. He was excited to see me when I came out. We had a good date. We went on a couple more dates after that, and that was that. Yeah, he was just a chill guy. Moving on from chill guy, we have a number 3. And at number 3, we have Mario. Mario and number 2 storyline kind of intertwine with each other. I also don't know Mario's zodiac sign. The reason why I gave him the nickname Mario is because he was supposed to dress up as Mario for our Halloween. Our first date was at Tate. It was great. He was from Spain. He was very interesting. We agreed to see each other a second time. For the second time, it was around Halloween, so we were talking about dressing up, going to a party. He said he was going to dress up as Mario, and I was going to dress up as Tinkerbell. It's the day we were supposed to meet up as Mario and Tinkerbell. I tried to take the green line for the first time, ended up further away than where I was supposed to go, so I ended up calling an Uber to his place, and I text them here. Door opens, and I'm like, he's with a Luigi, and he gave me the fattest hug. Me and him, we're talking like we've been on more than just one date. He's like, you look good. I'm like, you look good. And I was like, this is great. Mario, Luigi, Tinkerbell taking on Cambridge, Halloween night. Then all of a sudden I hear it was my Mario who wasn't dressed as Mario. The Mario that I was talking to, his Luigi, heard about the door like we just weren't having this big conversation. And I was like, so you're not dressed up as Mario? And he was like, I never got the costume. Go upstairs to his apartment, and then we go to his balcony, and then he pulls out his guitar, and we have a Dominic Fike moment from Euphoria. He plays this song. After he finishes playing, I cheer. I'm like, wow, that was so beautiful. And I just didn't know what to do after that because, you know, he was also kind of awkward. So I put my Tinkerbell wings on him and took pictures of him. All of a sudden, my phone dings, and it's a text message from guy number 2. This guy right here. I'm gonna jump ahead, but I had a fixation on number 2 after our first date. So, gotta go. And I ended up leaving. But we'll get to that when we get to guy number 2. Me and Mario, we ended up seeing each other for a third time, and he said he wanted to cook for me. And I just want to know, it's okay. I just want to know, how come anytime a guy says he's going to cook for you, it's always spaghetti or pasta? And I'm not really spaghetti or pasta, so I always end up in awkward predicaments when they say they're going to surprise me and it's pasta. But he had asked me ahead of time what kind of food that I liked, and I said, oh, I eat a lot of Asian food. And he said, okay, bet, I'm gonna cook you some Asian food. And so when we get there, it's literally pasta with shrimp in it. Yep, I'm trying my best to eat it. Slept over, and that's when I kind of came to terms that I just wasn't feeling nothing more than just friend vibes from him. And that was that. Now that we finish discussing Mario, it's time to move on to number 2. At number 2, the guy that I had the infatuation with is Aladdin. And I give him Aladdin because he was a thief. He wasn't stealing bread, but he did steal my heart, unfortunately. Aladdin was also a Gemini. I would love to give Aladdin #1 because the dates were just... So where do I even begin? The day that me and Aladdin first started talking, we went on our first date immediately. It was like, do you want hot pot? And I freaking love hot pot. I always want to go, but like I never want to go by myself. So I was already head over heels. I was like, this is the love of my life. This is the man of my future children. We go do hot pot. He's cracking me up, I'm cracking him up. Tricked me into eating lamb. I did tear up a little bit because I thought it was beef, but it was lamb. After we finished getting hot pot, we went to go get ice cream. We got some ice cream. After we got some ice cream, we went to Cambridge. He walked and then he took me on a drive and we saw the beautiful water. Then he was like, hey, do you want to come back to my place? And I was like, yeah, sure. He asked, what movie do you want to play? And I was like, have you ever seen Coraline? And he said he hadn't. I was like, well, we're watching Coraline. We ended up watching Coraline. We're joking around during the movie and then end up going to sleep. I had work the next day and it was cold out, so he gave me a hoodie. Then it was also cute because he was like, can I be your first kiss? And I was like, I've already had my first kiss. Then I was like, you know what? Let me erase my memory for a second. And then I like turned around and then gave him a kiss. I don't know. I just like when people are goofy and playful and not serious. You know, serious but goofy, I guess. Second meetup was when I got that text message from him when I was with Mario. He asked if he can come over. He was coming from a party. And I was like, yeah, you can come over. So like I rushed home. He was already at the footsteps of my apartment and we make it to my room and, you know, like we're hanging out, we're talking and whatnot. So last but not least, we have #1. I had more dates with this one and he was a really sweet guy. So for #1, we have Scott Pilgrim.
Well, friends, that is the end of the video. I filmed this video over a year ago and I forgot about it over a year ago. And, you know, I have a habit of starting projects and then not finishing them, and this unfortunately was a victim of one of them. And it was taking up too much space on my laptop, and I wanted to make more space, but I also didn't want it to go to waste, so I decided to finish what I could. And yeah, so pretty much Scott Pilgrim was #1 on the pyramid. He was a Scorpio. He got Scott Pilgrim because he had called me an enigma, and it was because like I had this habit of downloading dating apps, deleting them, and I would always match with him. And I matched with him like the third time and he was like 3 times the charm. And he basically was just trying to figure me out, but I feel like there's nothing to figure out. I'm just kind of like all over the place sometimes. And yeah, he was a stand-up comedian. He was very funny. I enjoyed all of the dates we went on. This connection kind of pretty much ended because I went to Greece for like 2 weeks and he told me to text him when I got back, and I got back and, you know, life started picking up again and I just never reconnected. So my bad. But yeah, that's the video.